Hi, everyone. Welcome to Movies with My Mother. I am Lexi.
And I'm Mom Lori.
And today we watched an old-timey movie.
We did. Very.
We watched Freaks from 1932.
Yeah.
It was not rated. It's 64 minutes long and it was directed by Tod Browning.
Yes, it was very interesting.
Listen, this is a tale as old as time.
Absolutely. Love gone wrong. You know what? That's what every movie is about, isn't it?
And if something looks like it's too good to be true, it is.
It is. And you have to find that out the hard way. There's no easy way to find that out.
No. This movie got a 95% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow.
It got an 80 on Metascore, which I think is maybe the highest we've ever seen,
Wow.
and 7.8 out of 10 on IMDb, which is great.
Unbelievable. It's a nice story. Yeah, I'm surprised that I enjoyed it.
Yeah, because you were dreading it.
Yes, just the studying that I did, I thought this is going to be really hard to watch because because life is hard to watch.
Yeah,
And I thought that it was going to be more like that, I think.
they didn't seem to be, not taken care of,
No, absolutely not. This was a community that lived together, traveled together, worked together, and
took care of each other.
yes, and it was the outsider that came in that was accepted that turned her back on them.
Yeah,
And that, how often does that happen?
yeah,
So it was I enjoyed it. I'm surprised I enjoyed it.
yeah. I think um the volume was a little weird.
It was. Sometimes I couldn't exactly hear and the switching from the German to the English,
Yeah,
that was a little difficult for me because, having seen a lot of German stuff, and you kids did German all through high school. I know a little bit.
yeah. Like I said, the only thing she said mit a lot, which is with,
Yeah,
and she called him Liebchen at
right,
the end, which I know is darling, lover,
right.
something like that nature.
But it wasn't hard to follow,
No.
but and I'm surprised that I thought it was a lovely movie. It was dark and it seemed a little dangerous, but I really think I enjoyed it.
I None of the darkness and none of the danger was out of left field.
No. Mm-mm.
It all needed to be there
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
because real life isn't pretty all the time.
No. No, not at all. Not at all. But yeah, I am surprised. I kind of like this movie.
Yeah, one of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gibu Gabu, one of us. I don't know what that all is, but
I don't know, that was a little weird.
it was.
And everybody was drinking out of that bowl. I thought, what is that about?
Yeah,
But
there are only a few people I'm willing to drink after.
that I'm really not willing to drink after anyone.
Like I'll share a drink with Justin.
Nope.
I don't have any problem doing that.
Nope. If I had a drink and you kids came and drank out of it, it was yours.
Yeah.
I that's one thing that just gags me.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Right now everything is the ick. What gives you the ick? Well, drinking out of a cup after someone else does. Woo!
I think that's exactly what they're talking about, but
I don't either, but that was good for me.
okay. Going forward, um getting out of the parlance of our times and going back to the podcast. We're the budget. This was expensive.
Really?
Budget was about $311,000.
Holy cow! Really?
In 1932, how much would that be today? Couple million?
At least. Well, we were deep into his films. He had at this time he was with Metro Goldwyn Mayer,
Yeah.
and he was one of their shining stars.
Yeah.
And by this time, um, what was this, 32?
32.
He was deep into his filmmaking.
Yeah, he had just made Dracula for Universal
Mhm.
the year before
Yep,
and just knocked it out of the park.
yep,
That Dracula is superb.
yep. Well, between 1915 and 1939, that was his career
Okay.
between then. He and during that time he made 62 films.
My God.
And that we're talking 1932, he was deep into his
Yeah.
work. And he was he moved around. I mean, he moved around to different uh studios, so he must be good.
Well, and I had always read that this really, really hurt his career.
But and you had told me that, but I didn't really find that in what I learned.
Really?
No,
Huh.
because this was in 1932. He continued to make movies until
1939.
1939.
Huh.
That's 7 years.
Yeah, but were they big motion pictures or were they little pictures? There's a big difference in that time of, big Hollywood studios and little tiny movies.
Well, after this during this time, he was working with Lon Chaney a lot.
Okay.
And after Lon Chaney moved on, he hooked up with Bela Lugosi
Yeah.
and did half a dozen movies with him.
Well, the chicken costume at the end that Cleopatra is in, that
Yeah.
that chicken contraption thing, that was made for a Lon Chaney movie,
Oh, really?
and it didn't make the cut at the end.
Yeah,
So that was just hanging around. Like, what are we gonna do with this? Todd Browning said, "Oh, I know exactly what we can do with this."
that was about the only thing in this movie I did not get. Why she was in a chicken outfit.
Well, you're supposed to infer that when the freaks went for her, that they transformed her into one of them.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay.
And how that even happens, I don't know. I think that's supposed to be where your imagination goes into those really dark places, like this is what they did to her to turn her into a chicken person.
Okay. I'm with you.
Um, but
Yeah, that
yeah,
that was the only weird part of the movie.
they
Considering this movie was all about weird, that was the only weird part to me.
she thought that the sideshow people were less than. She
Yeah,
thought that she was better than them, and they turned her into less than and ugly
that's
and useless and lame.
she called them freaks. She was a freak.
She turned into one.
Yeah, they
And
weren't. She was.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, all the sideshow performers were just people just living their life,
Right?
doing their thing, getting paid. What's more American than that?
Nothing. There's nothing more American than having a job.
And doing what you want, hanging out with your friends while you
Right,
do it.
right, right.
Anyways, this movie had a worldwide gross of $341,000.
Holy
And I
cow.
have something about where it made money and where it didn't
Yes,
make
the
money.
the
Did you see
original
that?
um the original re- release. Let me find this.
The film's premieres ran in Chicago and Los Angeles were miserable failures. San Francisco theaters wouldn't even show it, and it was banned in many other areas. But by contrast, it was a big hit in Cincinnati, Boston, Cleveland, Houston, and Omaha.
Interesting. But where it made all its money was on its very beginning opening before it was all cut up and what we say now is remastered. It was all the really bad parts were taken out. When I go out of line with my notes, I always have a bad time, don't I?
Yeah. You sure do.
Okay, here we go at MGM. Let me see. No, I can't find it.
We'll
I'll
talk
find
about
it
it.
and then I'll point it out that this is what I was looking
We'll get
for.
there.
Yeah.
The plot is that a circus's beautiful trapeze artist agrees to marry the leader of the sideshow performers. But his freak show friends discover her ulterior motives and seek revenge.
Yeah,
And they got it.
they did. She just didn't know that she was being watched so closely.
No. It starred Wallace Ford, Layla Hyams, Olga Baklanova, Roscoe Aites, Henry Victor, Harry Earls, Daisy Earls, Daisy and Violet Hilton, Schlitzie, Johnny Eck, Francis O'Connor, Peter Robinson, and Olga Roderick. There were a bunch more, but I just stopped writing.
Right. And most of all of those people, most of the other people that were the actual freaks.
Yeah, the sideshow performers. They were actually sideshow performers.
Right. Right. Which, what's a freak? Aren't we all?
Well,
You know,
in 1930s, that's exactly what they would have been called, freaks. It would have been
right.
called a freak show. But now, I mean, we can't say that to somebody and look them in the eye.
No, that's true. I mean, like I said, what is a freak?
Right. Just because they have some sort of physical deformity doesn't make them less than
Right.
anything.
Right. And
And
and we see that every day. Just because you're different does not mean you're different.
right,
You just look different.
right,
And what is it?
right.
So, yeah.
So,
But that is what back then those people couldn't get a job.
no, this is pretty much the only thing they could have done.
That they went to the circus to make their living
Yeah.
and they got paid there where they couldn't go to McDonald's and get a job.
No.
And it wasn't because they weren't smart or they weren't
Capable?
re- yeah, a reasonable human being. It's because of the way they look.
Yeah.
They couldn't get a job because of the way they look. And where could they find a job? Right there. And they made money.
Yeah.
They made all kinds of money. So, in your face.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, yay to them. And Tod Browning, the director, he was part of that. He ran away and joined the circus when he was 15. He literally ran away and joined the circus.
Yeah, I read that he was a contortionist. And Jesus Christ, how do you get into that racket?
I don't know. I don't know, but from an early age he was fascinated with circuses and carnival life. And at 16, he left home. He didn't finish high school or anything and joined the circus. He initially was a roustabout, which is just a worker. They're the people that build the tents and put stuff together and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
But he was so enamored with everything, he became a barker, which is the guy that,
Come on, come on.
yep, and he introduced the acts and stuff. And by 1901, he was singing and dancing on Ohio and Mississippi riverboats.
Oh,
So, I mean, he went from one traveling circus to another.
yeah, I guess.
Um, and you had mentioned he was a contortionist. He was also a magician's assistant
Oh
for
boy.
a while. So that was, I think that's funny. And he was also, for a short time, clowning with the Ringling Brothers Circus.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And this is all before he was, 20 ish,
Yeah.
16, 20. Yeah. And in 1906, he was briefly married to a woman from his hometown. And this is an interesting name. I should have done a little research on this. Amy Lewis Stevenson in Knoxville, Tennessee,
Oh, okay.
or Kentucky, Knoxville, Kentucky. Knoxville,
Knoxville's in Tennessee.
Knoxville is in Tennessee because he's his uncle, who he got his kind of wanderlust from, um, Pete Louisville Slugger Browning.
Oh,
He played baseball. So that's kind of where Louisville Slugger came from this guy, this
that's
nickname.
that's cool.
Um, so he was married to this woman just very briefly, just a few years. But he eventually just left her, just abandoned her.
Oh.
And you had mentioned his name to see if I studied the right person. Yeah, I saw there was a different movie, Freaks, from another time, and I made sure I got the 1932 one.
Okay. Okay. Well, I know you like to change people's
I
names.
do, I do. I like to no, I like to change their whole identity, their
Yeah.
whole life.
Uh-huh.
I just like to flip flop that kind of stuff. But I did not this time. I did not.
Okay, I appreciate that.
And in German, TOD, Todd, means death.
Oh.
Interesting, huh?
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, so that's why he adopted the name Todd, TOD.
Huh.
In around 19, what I tell you, 1906 ish?
So,
Yeah, 1906. So,
well, that's cool.
yeah, and it was after that that he became he did a lot of vaudeville stuff and was the magician's assistant and contortionist. And a lot of his stuff he did in blackface.
Oh,
You know, but on the other hand, that was
at the time,
at that time, that was the art.
well, it was still meant to be rude.
Yes, it was, but you
Listen,
know,
I I know it's wrong. There are some episodes of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia where they are making sequels to the Lethal Weapon movies
oh Lord,
where um
those guys really?
yeah, where one guy, well, two of the guys will play the Danny Glover character. Now, one guy just plays it as a white guy with a big bushy mustache, and that's what it is. The other guy will play it full blackface.
Oh Lord,
And it's so fucking funny. And it's only funny because the Always Sunny people are terrible people,
they're
and
terrible human
they
beings.
wouldn't bat an eye
Yes,
at
yes,
doing blackface
correct.
in current times.
Oh,
It's so and but I don't think those episodes are streaming anywhere anymore
oh, they took
because
him
of the
down.
time.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Ay, ay, ay.
they're so ridiculous if you keep in mind that this group of people are playing terrible human
Yes,
beings and
yes,
they do not care.
yes. Anyone who has seen that knows that those people
Yeah,
are awful,
and it's so
just awful.
it's so funny.
Yeah,
It's
I know. I've seen some of those shows, and they're OMG funny.
it's so wrong.
Yes,
And the wrongness of it makes it even funnier.
right, right,
And if somebody else were to just jump out and do that right now, like I would be offended.
right.
But
Correct.
but on a show like Always Sunny, where they're just meant to be offensive people,
Yes,
it's very funny
it's the whole premise of that show, isn't it?
in the context of that show.
Right, right. Oh my goodness.
But I have seen pictures of uh the performer Drake doing blackface, which is wild because he is half black.
Oh my goodness,
And
really?
it's inappropriate.
Wow.
I'll dig it up for you while you're talking. Keep
That,
talking.
yeah. Yeah, so okay, around 1906, he had already been on the road for 13 years. Um Carnivals, and so he decided he was going to move into vaudeville and do acting. He was going to make his move then. And then in 1913, D.W. Griffith hired him, and later that year they both went to Hollywood. Oh, that's wrong.
Isn't that offensive?
Yes.
Even knowing that he is half black?
Yeah, no, that's not right.
It's wild with
Oh my
the
gosh.
shoe polish face and the giant red mouth.
Oh
It's
Lord.
gross.
Oh Lord.
As if we didn't need to talk more shit about Drake.
Right. I knew you were going to add that. Oh dear. Okay. Yeah, so with he broke into movies with D.W. Griffith.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. 1914, 1915. He was By this time he was a full-time alcoholic.
Mm. Well,
It runs in his family. His that Pete, his uncle, was a full-time alcoholic too. And where am I? Okay,
D.W.
this.
Griffith, Alcoholics.
Yep. And he was this is where he started. This is the time when he started doing directorial work.
Okay.
Um but it and it was also at that, because of all of that, this is how he got into it. He had had a very bad car accident driving drunk. He somehow ran into a train,
Oh my God.
and one person was killed, and him and the other passenger were badly injured.
Jesus.
And it was during this long recovery that he discovered screenwriting. He couldn't really do anything else, so he started screenwriting for Reliance Majestic Studios.
Oh, okay.
And then by 1916 he was well again, and he joined D.W. Griffith Films as an assistant director,
Right.
and that he learned his craft there. His first screenwriting and directing movie was in 1970. And it was a movie called
1970?
1917.
Okay. That sounds a little bit better.
He was already dead a couple of years by 1970. A movie called Jim Bludso.
Okay. Never heard of it.
I didn't. Most of the movies that I told you when we were talking that. Did I tell you this? Have we talked about this? He made
Yeah, you said 60, like 62 movies.
62 films. None of which, only a few of them did I recognize.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't even write any of them down.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
Um, I figured, if you found something real interesting, London After Midnight was one of the movies I recognized. Anyway,
Oh, no shit. Really? He like did AD work on that?
he directed that.
No.
Yeah, we'll have to look that up.
Yeah. I'm
Um,
hoping somebody finds a copy of that in their attic somewhere.
Probably not.
No.
That's the only one I really even looked for, and it is. Everyone feels it is completely lost.
Damn it.
Um,
Because I would kill to see that. That's Lon Chaney.
yes, yes, yes. So
The stills that they had that exist from that just look so cool.
yeah, that's all that remains. The people in the know feel that those few stills that we know of, that we have seen, are all that is left of that movie,
Damn it.
which is, kind of crazy to me. because that's something I know of that movie. I know of that movie, and it's been lost for so long. So, yeah. Yeah, but it was around this time that he married for the second time, Alice Weston, and they remained married until her death in 1944.
Oh, okay.
He went to New York and it was around 1917 that he went back to New York to work with Metro Pictures,
Okay.
where and this is kind of cool. This is where Lon Chaney comes in. He developed Tod Browning developed a technique to have two people, one person, two characters in the same shot, a double expo it really didn't give it a name, but it was a double exposure technique, and they were considered groundbreaking at the time.
Really?
Yeah, and when I think about it, I think I've seen movies like that where one person is two different people in the same shot.
Like Jekyll and Hyde?
Yeah, yeah, and he developed that technique.
No shit.
Yep. And then he went back to Hollywood the next year to do more Metro films, and he this is really where he established himself as a successful director and screenwriter. And then he left Metro to go to a company called Bluebird Photo Plays
Oh, okay.
and did a couple of movies there and then went back to Universal
Okay.
where he stayed until 1932. This was around 1917, 18 that he went to 1919 that he went to Bluebird. And he was only there like a summer, and then he went to Universal and stayed there until 1932,
Okay.
where he did successful films with you know we've talked before about how different directors have their crew,
Right.
and Tod Browning had a crew that he liked to work with.
Oh, cool.
He made lots of movies with the same people. Um, a number of his biggest hits were um, set in foreign, like exotic type settings.
Oh, okay.
Like the only movie in my head right now is Casablanca. And we know Casablanca was made in California, but when you think about Casablanca, it was all exotic places.
Yeah, 'cause isn't Casablanca like really in like Morocco?
Right, right. But a whole bunch of his movies were set in, dark, mysterious
Oh,
places.
Castle Dracula? Hell yeah.
Yeah. What am I? Okay, okay. Then he went on to make at Universal. He made a couple of movies, and one of them was a movie called White Tiger, where he used some theatrical type illusion type stuff that kind of went against the magician's code,
Oh,
where he kind of gave up some of the
the secrets.
yeah,
Oh
and
no.
that kinda set the magicians off because, that's their thing, they have that code that you don't tell.
Yeah. I can't make money if everybody knows what I'm doing.
Yeah, yeah, and it was just after that, that he met Lon Chaney and started working with him.
Oh, okay.
And they did, The Man of a Thousand Faces. That was where he did those The Man of a Thousand Faces is where he did that technique where he used Lon Chaney was in the scene as two people.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Did you know that Lon Chaney, both of his parents were deaf? He was the only hearing child of deaf parents.
Oh,
Yeah, that's why he was so good in the vaudeville scene with pantomime and
yes.
everything because he had to that's how he had to learn to communicate with his parents.
Right, right. Ah, cool.
Yeah. Lon Chaney's an interesting character.
Yeah.
Lon Chaney Jr., not so much.
Okay.
Just a drunk guy
Yeah. Okay.
making money off his dad's name.
Yeah. All right. But Browning was perfecting his techniques of photography.
Oh, okay.
Lon Chaney killed himself in one movie.
Oh dear.
So that's but that was all through the magic of movies.
Crazy.
1925. Ma- um Oh, he did not stay with Universal until 1932. He was back and forth with them
Okay.
because in 1925, Lon Chaney went to Metro Goldwyn Mayer to do a movie, and he brought Browning with him
Oh, okay.
to that. And that was back when MGM was brand new.
Yeah.
Metro Goldwyn Mayer, that was, the Metro that he had worked with in New York a few times.
Oh, okay.
So it was part of that. And uh, at MGM, Browning and Cheney made eight critically and commercially successful movies.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And Browning had written six of them. And the other two were written by his co writer. He had a guy that worked with him,
Oh, cool.
and that guy wrote the other two. And this is really what brought Browning and Cheney to a whole huge career high. And some of these movies are beyond classic. He touched every sort of topic. Um,
Can I stop you? No.
some of these movies are beyond classic. He touched every sort of topic you can think of. He really delved into topics that you don't talk about in polite society. But during that time, he built his brand. He really, really built his brand. That was during that time when no, that's not when Freaks came out. That was a little bit later. But really, he worked with people that he worked with in the circus, and those were his people.
Okay.
He was really that was really his brand. Those
Interesting.
kind of movies. In 1929, MGM began the transition to talking movies,
Yeah.
and Browning. There's all sorts of different stories. Some that he was rather resistant to it, and he really didn't want to, but because he knew the art of making a movie story. The way the people setting up the actors to make them, act and have a scene where it really tells the story. But he was willing, you know, he was willing to contribute to the new film. Um, let's see. A lot of it was because, when you're talking and telling the story, you're taking the control of the director from the movie. The sound says more than the directing does. So that was just a little something that, how he worked. And then after that, it talked about his final years, which are about 20 years. His wife Alice dies of complications of pneumonia in 1944, and it left him a recluse. He stayed um he really stayed in his home after that, and he kind of died there
Oh,
after 20 years. He didn't do anything. And then around 1949, he was awarded a lifetime membership by the Directors Guild of America.
oh, cool.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. Yeah, I like I said, 62 films. Um, it, just, people had a lot of, when I read stuff, most people had good things to say about this guy because he was so interesting.
Yeah,
He touched on topics that were so different from everything we saw that he really wanted to explore societies and why this is happening and that is happening. I thought it was kind of interesting.
that's so before the time.
Oh my gosh, yes. He was another man who was way ahead of his time. How many times have we said that of directors?
Phew.
That they're just beyond their time and so interesting. Oh, what else? Okay, how about you? Got what do you got?
I got trivia.
I have a little, but it sounds like the same trivia I have. You have.
The on-screen romance between Hans and Frida
Uh huh.
was very subdued
Yeah, it was.
because the roles were played by siblings, Harry and Daisy Earls.
It's,
And I mean, they looked exactly alike. It's wild. Like if you put a Marcelled wig on Hans, he would have looked exactly like Frida.
I guess you are correct. Yes, but man, the clothes those two wore.
They were
Holy cow!
they were fancy.
That tuxedo he had on, and she had on that one little wrap skirt that I would give my eye teeth for that wrap
That
skirt.
her shoes.
Yes, and that evening dress she wore. Wow,
Yeah.
wow.
The film initially ran over 90 minutes, but was severely truncated following the horrific reactions it provoked.
Right?
The extra footage is presumed lost,
Yes,
which would be great if somebody found that and put out
because today it probably wouldn't be as horrific
oh
as
no.
what we think it might.
Um, the film's original ending showed Hercules singing soprano and Madame Tetralini's new sideshow because he had been castrated by the band of freaks.
Ouch.
The scene was cut after the preview audience had a negative reaction.
Uh, okay, I kind of get that.
Um, Prince Randian's scene lighting the cigarette was cut short. It also showed him. Other footage also showed him rolling that cigarette.
Eat.
A man with no arms.
That damn match. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Wow, that was amazing.
Um, let's see the pinhead, which is not a preferred name anymore. It's their what is that microcephalic?
Mi- yes, microcephalic. Yes,
Um, appears to be female, and they do refer to Schlitzie as her.
yes.
But she's wearing a dress, but it's actually Schlitzie is actually a man
Uh-huh.
that was using the dress to hide incontinence.
Yes, I read that too. But back in the 30s, boys wore dresses until they went to school.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's not that weird.
No, and for somebody who appeared to maybe be mentally probably 6 or 7,
Uh huh.
is that
Odd.
no.
No. Right. Right. I think this whole thing is the way you look at things. The way you make sense of things.
Yeah.
Back then, I saw lots of pictures of my dad in a little, they called them jumpers. They didn't call them dresses. But out playing with his brothers, they all had little jumpers on.
Yeah.
Then when they went to school, they put pants on them because that was what was expected. I mean, I don't find that odd.
No.
Even today, I don't find it odd if a man would wear a dress because let's face it, a dress is really more comfortable than uh, a button-up shirt and a belt, and I don't know the whole thing. I get it.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I still I still love wearing jeans every day,
Yeah.
but
Okay. So, are you a man?
no,
Did you wear pants?
I just it's not an uh it's not an everyday occasion that I want to wear a dress.
Right. Is there? We've had to wear dresses, and sometimes the dresses we have to wear aren't comfortable. But
Yeah.
I would have wore that dress.
Oh yeah.
That was just a little shift dress. I would absolutely wear that.
Just walking around the house.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
This film was rejected for showing in UK cinemas in
Mhm.
1932 and again in 1952.
Yeah. Yeah.
It finally passed for cinema with an uncut X rating in May of 1963,
Crazy.
making it one of the longest bans in UK film history.
Amazing. And in the United States, it was banned in lots of places.
Yeah,
And technically, if we want to get right down to it, it would still be banned because most of those laws that were on the books at that time are still on the books.
isn't that wild?
Yeah, craziness.
The bearded lady,
Uh-huh.
Olga Roderick, later denounced the film and
Yes.
regretted her involvement in it.
Yes.
But she didn't have a very big part
No, she was we saw her with the baby and she was there smoking at the table,
at
at
the
the
wedding.
wedding table.
Yeah,
I think I was going to pay attention to that and I didn't. But I think those are the only 2 times we even saw her.
yeah. She was the most vocal, but many of the other sideshow performers also expressed their disdain.
Yes.
Only Johnny Eck, and Johnny Eck was the man that walked on his hands that didn't
Yes.
have legs.
Uh-huh.
Seems to have praised the film throughout his life.
I don't feel that anything in the movie gave them a bad look.
I don't think so.
Um, m maybe they considered it exploitation after the fact.
Which I could understand.
Yes, yes, I get it. But
But I don't think there's anything exploitative about this movie.
no, and I don't feel that it was derogatory in any manner.
No.
Those people looked like they were living life. I mean,
It
they had a job, they did their show.
This movie really does cast a sympathetic eye to that group of people.
Yeah,
So, you know,
yeah, I read that, but I don't.
they
But
had
there
that
again, I'm not thinking what they're thinking.
right, but
You
they
know.
had that den mother with them, and
Yeah.
it looked like there was somebody that was looking out for them and taking care of them, and
Right.
they didn't seem to be making less than
No.
their counterparts. So I don't know, and maybe that's just glamorous life of movies, and I'm
Right.
sure that real life was much different,
Oh, right.
but
But who knows? We'll never know. We'll never
no,
know.
no. Once studio head Louis B. Mayer saw the sideshow entertainers whom Browning cast, he was horrified and tried to have the movie shut down.
Right. But there again, is that stereotyping? Here's this um big important person gonna crush the little guy. I don't know. I don't know what the thinking was. I I don't know. I found it all very interesting, the reading of the stuff like that. But
Yeah. I told you during the movie that during publicity photo shoots, Harry Earls would make lewd comments near Olga Bakalinova, and like many of her surprised or disgusted like facial expressions
yeah.
were genuine because this guy was just talking shit the whole time, just being
Oh
gross
dear.
and ew.
Oh dear. Okay.
The movie that Lon Chaney was supposed to have that bird, the chicken costume in, was a movie called Zanzibar.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Oh, West of Zanzibar, sorry.
All right. Interesting. And it was during the time of this movie that F. Scott Fitzgerald was a member of Metro Goldwyn Mayer's writing team.
I saw that.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
He did not like this movie.
No,
The original casting had Victor McLaglen as Hercules, Myrna Loy as Cleopatra, and Jean Harlow as Venus.
oh, wow.
And all of them balked at the prospect of co-starring with sideshow exhibitions.
Well, la ti da.
Myrna Loy also had turned down the part because she said that the script was offensive.
It was just a different time. It was a different time.
No, because we're watching this, 90 years in the future where, you know, our, our real lives are much more wild
Oh yeah.
than the 1930s could have even imagined.
Right. Right. Absolutely.
So, maybe it was offensive back then, but it certainly is not now.
I I would not think it is. But yes, you are correct. We have to remember this was 1932, not 2025. We're in a different era.
We're in a way different place and time
Yeah.
where, sideshow entertainers are probably the most benign thing that we can think of.
Correct. Correct. And it's different every era. I think back to the 60s and it was a different time. I can remember some stuff in the 60s.
Yeah,
It's a different time. That people thought differently then. And to go back even further to the 30s, uh, there's no comparison. There's nowhere to draw the line from here to there
right,
at all.
right.
So yeah, interesting.
Um, American Horror Story did a whole series. One of their seasons was about a freak show in I feel like it was like the early 50s in Florida, ran by a German woman who had had her legs um amputated in a um snuff film.
Ah,
She was doing blue movies in the 30s in Germany, and somebody came in and chopped her legs off at the knees.
holy cow.
And there was that was a thing that was beginning in German film.
Oh,
And the show was crazy. It had the awful name is Lobster Boy, and there it's like something dactyl, something
oh, yeah, where
polydactyl or something, or other, where his fingers are fused together. They look like lobster claws,
yes.
and they had a conjoined twins played by one woman. That was cool.
Conjoined twins by one woman?
Yeah.
It wasn't the twins?
No, no. In the American Horror Story free show, it was one woman played
Oh, both
both of
parts.
the
Oh,
twins.
I'm with you now. I'm with you now. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and that was really interesting because again, it's a group of marginalized people just
Yeah.
kind of floating through time on their own,
Yes. Yes.
making money where they can.
Yes. Oh, interesting.
Yeah. The American Horror Stories really work really good. Um, for like the first 6 or 7, 8 seasons.
Uh-huh.
I haven't watched anything past Roanoke. I watched Roanoke. I haven't watched anything past Roanoke, so I don't know if they continued to be really great. But
I'm gonna say they probably don't, or you'd be watching them.
well, it's one of those things that like it's the the next one in the series that I haven't seen is called Cults, and do I really want to watch something about
Yeah.
cults? Yeah,
Not really. I hear you. I hear you.
it's a heavy topic.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But go back and watch American Horror Story Freak Show. That was really good.
Go back and watch this movie. This was really good too.
And we watched it on Tubi. It was the
Yes.
only place to watch it.
And it didn't cut out one time. Tubi's been really bad just lately.
Oh,
Goodness. I don't know if it's just our cable system or what, but they've been timing out a lot. Tubi and Pluto.
really?
Yes.
We haven't had a problem. Well, for a minute we had, but it was snowing real hard and it was real dark for a couple days and our internet was real screwy.
Yeah.
And I woke up one morning and it was a Sunday morning. Justin had gone to work and was making a bunch of noise before he left. And that's why I was like, well, I'm awake. I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'm going to, get a drink, see what's going on. He left a note and said that the internet's out and he thought that the router was dead because it didn't have any lights on it.
Oh no, there was something going on at
And
Buckeye Broadband.
so I went into the video game room where our cable is all our internet setup
Yeah.
is.
It's not cable anymore, but we still call it that.
And I was looking at stuff and I think that the power strip that it was on had tripped,
Oh yeah.
first of all. And
Yes.
then I think while he was just pushing buttons on everything, he had turned the modem off or the not the modem, but the router off.
Yes.
And so I turned the router back on, because if the power strip trips, it doesn't matter if you turn it off and on, it's not going to come on anyways.
Correct.
So I turn it back on, the lights come back on, and the little internet boxy is all lit up, and I go, I fight the cats to get back into the room,
Eat.
the
What are you doing,
bedroom,
Mom? Let me help you. Here, here.
and they're not allowed in the video game room because Dad has a leather chair in there, and
Oh.
Ash being like. I don't know what's going on with him, but he is claw first wherever he goes, whatever he's doing.
Oh.
It's claw first, and he is has got a few holes in that chair, and
Oh
Justin is
no.
not happy.
Oh
So because Ash doesn't know how to act,
no, they're not reasoning.
nobody is allowed in the video
I
game
get it.
room. So they all like to just stand there at the window and look at me. What are you doing in there? We need to be in here to help you. What are
Yeah.
you doing?
Yes.
So I so I fight the cats to get out, and I'm flipping around on the TV in the bedroom, and it comes back, and I was just like, because Justin texted me later, and he was just like, he's gonna knock my jaw loose if I can't get the internet to work for her while she's while, while she's sleeping, because if she wakes up, she's gonna be pissed.
Oh no. No, you wake up. Oh, it went out again. What's going on?
I was able to figure it out. I didn't need to knock his jaw loose.
Good. Yeah, I think it was the whole thing because I remember one night last week there was TV problems
And
and
it
it
just wanted to be funky.
yeah, but it was completely out. I do recall that one night because I had to reset everything. I had to reset the TV, the Roku, the two different boxes I have. from Buckeye, so
Yeah, because I was just
it
like,
was completely out something.
because this is like the first time I've had to mess with it since we changed over to the fiber, and
Yeah,
I
me
was just
too.
like, what do I do?
Right.
Like, and then I found that there was a little boxy thing on the table that connects to the little boxy thing on the wall.
Right. There's 2 boxes,
And I
yeah.
was just like,
I had to get the directions out and watch the little videos, so
yeah, no, I just started pushing buttons.
and then when that didn't set it back on, I figured, "Okay, look at your phone." Oh, yeah, the internet's off on my phone too, so
Yeah.
there's something going on outside.
Yeah. And
And it was ice and
it
snow and
really
wind.
was nasty
Yeah.
for a minute.
And it went on for about an hour.
Yeah. Well,
So,
thankfully, I had must have slept through that part
yeah,
because when I turned it back on, I was able to get TV right
right,
away. It did blink in and out a few times, and I run my my router is in a room that is furthest from the living room.
right.
So sometimes the internet doesn't reach out here. So I have a
Right.
so I have a range extender in my bathroom
Okay.
because that's the halfway
Halfway.
point.
Right, right.
So that's what the TV internet is running through is the range extender.
Right.
It's a whole mess. And sometimes that range extender just likes to be a piece of shit.
Well, my box and everything is right in the living room where the TV that I watch is, so that's not the reason.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
we fight with that range extender a lot.
Okay. All right.
I only have one little last piece of trivia that was interesting that I didn't read earlier was that after the film had been withdrawn and shelved by MGM, the distribution rights were acquired by notorious exploitation roadshow specialist Dwayne Esper, and he traveled the USA showing the film under lurid titles like Forbidden Love and Nature's Mistakes.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
And this is also included in the list of 1001 movies you must see before you die.
Okay. Very interesting. I like I said, when I was studying about it, I kept thinking, "Oh, maybe I don't want to watch this, and then it's going to be hard to watch." Oh, you know what? It was okay.
Yeah.
Actually, it was pretty good. So, I'd say watch it.
Yeah, and it 64 minutes.
Right. Even with the commercials, when it ended, I said, "What? What?" It just like ended, and I thought, "Oh, that time went fast."
Yeah.
So, I would suggest, I would recommend people watch this.
Yeah. This is a great movie.
Yeah, it was lovely. It was put together nicely. Like I said, I thought that the ambiance of the movie was spot on.
Yeah, and I don't think it was exploitative.
No, I did not
I
feel
do
that.
see how you can put an exploitative spin on
You
it,
can, yes.
but I don't feel like that was used here.
No, no, I didn't. I didn't. I thought it was pretty good. I
Yeah.
enjoyed it. So yeah, watch it. It was
One
good
one of us. One of us.
because I am one of them. I am one of them.
I say that at work sometimes when one of the bosses comes and she's just like, "Oh, well, this is going on." And I said, "I hate that person. I hate what they're doing. I hate what they do. I hate them." And she's just like, "Well, we're trying to remain positive." I said, "This is not the positive corner." And I said, "And you only need to come over here if you want to be one of us."
Do you want to come to the dark corner? Come,
Yeah.
come.
If you want somebody to help you be petty, come call us. We'll help you. If you want a positive solution to your problem, go talk to anybody but me.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, I agree with that. That's the way we are.
Yep.
You are correct.
I will help you fist fight somebody, but I'm not going to help you solve a problem.
Right. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Okay. I'm all right with that. I'm all right with that.
Yeah, not a problem solver.
Nope. 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 Okay. Well, let's move on to the deaths then.
Yeah, a lot of death this week.
Um, this poor man, I hope you all know who he is. Peter Navy Turasapo. I'm so sorry that I don't get that, but he was actor, comedian, dead at 61. Best known for things he did in Magnum PI and Blackish. There was a lot of other stuff, but I didn't recognize any of it, but I recognized those two.
Yeah, but 61,
61.
that's just way too young.
Yep. Gene Allen at 63, a rapper and actor. Kevin Major Howard at 69. He had been hospitalized with respiratory um, issues.
Oh,
Sounds like same with the Pope. Poor Pope.
oh my God.
He's pretty rough. Well, he had part of a lung removed when he was a kid. The
Oh,
Pope. The
really?
Pope did.
Wow.
And he's what, 80 something now?
He's a billion years old.
So I mean, you know, pray for the Pope
I mean, if you want.
if you're Catholic. So, best wishes to him. I mean, I like this Pope.
He is pretty great. Like, he is pretty progressive
Yeah.
considering
Yes.
he's 110 years old
Right. Right, but
and a lifelong Catholic.
yeah, he sounds like a regular guy.
Like a people are people guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So best to him, but yeah, respiratory issues right now are bad. Kevin Major Howard, also a Canadian American.
Okay.
Biff Whiff.
Whiff
Uh,
whiff.
I could not find anything about Biff Whiff that was interesting about it. He did not. It was cancer that got him,
Oh.
but I couldn't find anything about his age or where he lived, or
Um,
do you know anything about him?
I saw something. He was on a TV show.
Lots of TV shows.
I know him from an episode of um I love to call this show Reno 911. Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Uh huh. Yeah, he was on a lot. He was like a regular character actor, comedian type guy.
He was in Everything Everywhere All at Once, that movie that just won a billion
Oh,
Oscars.
uh-huh.
He was in a show called I Think You Should Leave,
Yeah, I mean, I
an
re
extended battle with cancer.
yeah. I did not recognize his name, but I recognized his face.
Yeah.
But then there was like nothing about him other than his work. And, I thought, "Oh, okay.
He was in Gidget, The New Gidget,
Yeah.
Night Court, Roseanne,
Yeah.
Crossing Jordan,
Yeah,
Rizzoli and Isles.
tons of stuff." And old stuff, Gidget, I remember when that first came out, right up to the new Night Court.
But it doesn't say how old he is, but
Nope,
he did look pretty old.
he did. And if he was an actor in Gidget, I remember that from my youth.
Yeah.
So he's got to be well over 70,
Yeah.
probably closer to 80.
Probably.
So, but yeah, cancer.
Yeah, there's no money in helping people survive.
No, no,
So
no.
people are still gonna die of cancer, even though it's
Yes,
completely something we can take care of.
yes, yes. And flu. I mean, we had our first death here in Toledo. A 17-year-old lost his life to flu this
That's
last week.
wild.
How in 2025
Are we still
are we
dying?
dying from flu?
Yeah. Well, and I had seen the article on the news and it said pediatric case and I was just
Well,
like,
he's under
"Oh,
18.
it's a
Oh,
baby. A baby died." And then I saw it was a
oh,
17-year-old. I was like,
oh.
"Come on now.
Yeah, that a pediatric goes from 0 to
Give
18.
me a couple context clues that this isn't a
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah. Well, when
For
I
Christ's
first heard
sake.
it too, I instantly thought baby too,
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, come on, people are dying from stuff like that in
it's crazy.
2025. I don't get it. I
Yeah,
don't get it.
it's only going to get worse.
Yes. Yes, it is. Okay, back to this. Rick Bucklear, 69. He was the drummer for the band The Jam.
Oh, yeah, that guy. I love The
Yes.
Jam. That's A
Yes.
Town Called Malice. That's a great song.
Um, Adrienne Ballamore at 46 from a heart attack. She was a Playboy model.
That's way too young.
Yeah.
But but were there extenuating circumstances? 46, have a heart attack?
There absolutely had to have been.
Because, a Playboy model doesn't look like me.
No, but and the
Me
first
having a
thing
heart attack at 46?
then the first thing
Plausible.
I thought was she having a procedure?
Mm,
Because beautiful women have to stay beautiful and, you know,
that's where they find a lot of heart trouble.
yeah, yeah,
A lot of underlying heart trouble that they
right,
don't find until somebody drops dead.
right. Kanye West's mother died of a heart attack having a procedure.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
she had
yeah,
her breasts done.
yeah. Well, she did go to Mexico for it, but that's beside the point. A lot of people, yeah, that's when they find stuff like that.
It's terrible.
And then Lynn Marie Stewart from Pee Wee Herman.
And It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yes,
Charlie's mom.
yes, yeah. She was also pretty old, but there
70,
again,
78.
yeah, it didn't talk a lot about stuff like that. I didn't write it down, but 78 sounds right.
Yeah.
Uh,
I had seen it on Facebook before, and I scoured TMZ. I couldn't find it. And later in the day Variety put it out and I was like, okay. This is real now. Cuz people put on Facebook all
right,
the time that somebody dropped dead and they're
right.
completely healthy.
And to the clickbait stuff that comes on Facebook. Oh, this or that person died.
Yeah,
Yeah,
rest in peace.
he died 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Why? George Armitage, 82, director, one of my favorite movies, which Alexis was stunned to hear that I
I'm
knew
shocked
about
that
it.
you even know what this
Gross
is.
Point Blank.
It's a great movie.
I love that movie. I don't know why, but I do. It's the when the 7-Eleven blows up. It's pretty damn fabulous. And then we talked about this. I don't know if we had mentioned this before, but Horst Jansen for 89 from the movie we watched a couple of weeks ago.
Captain Kronos.
Yeah,
The Captain Kronos died.
he died from he had had a couple of strokes, and then he had a pretty bad fall, and he died from complications of all of
But he was
that.
like 90 something years old.
Only 89.
Okay, that's nowhere near 90.
It's not. You are correct. Oh dear.
But I
Yeah.
had seen that on the Joe Bob Briggs group on Facebook. Somebody had posted that they had bought like a super mega deluxe version of Captain Kronos and all the cool shit that came with it. And I was like, oh shit, that's cool. And somebody was just like, hey, Horst Jansen literally just died today.
Yeah.
And it was
Yeah, it
like, what?
was just like a couple of days after we watched the movie.
Yeah,
So,
crazy.
yeah. Yeah.
He was waiting for us
He was.
just to make sure we watched it.
Right. That's it. That's it. And I've got a little bit of news from the Westminster Dog Show.
Oh, okay.
They're a little Shih Tzu from um near Toledo and Maclova, Ohio. Comet, 4-year-old, won the toy group, and his handler Luke Eichhardt, Eichrich. Sorry, Luke. But yeah, famous people.
Eichhardt and Eichrich are very different. Like, what are you talking about?
I don't know. His handler.
Okay,
And famous people from Toledo.
that's cool.
Yeah, and one of my Facebook friends' son had a dog, in the show, and his name was Patrick. I'll think about it. Patrick Hires, I believe. My friend's son had a dog that placed in a group.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
yay! But he's not from around here. I don't think.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't think he lives around here. So yeah, so yeah, two famous people from Toledo.
Yeah. And the dog show happened like right after we watched Best in Show,
Right,
which I just posted this morning, so go listen to it. It was silly.
right. That's the reason I have that. So you know, and we got one guy on our Facebook.
No, it was our YouTube.
Oh yes, our
He
YouTube.
commented about Canadian stuff on our Blue Velvet posting, which I went back and listened to Blue Velvet. All we said was we don't care about Canadian politicians in terms of important people
Right,
deaths.
and that's okay that he took a little bit of umbrage to that. That's okay. I mean,
But in
we
general, we love Canada. I love going to Canada.
absolutely, absolutely. And I did look into some Canadian politics stuff, but I got a little confused, so I had to stop reading about it. I mean, it was a little more complicated than what I thought it would be, but I don't know what I thought it would be. So, in the little bit that I did know, that was what I knew. So we don't learn about other people's
No, the
governments.
American school system is
We
is
you know
severely lacking
we
world
are
knowledge.
ignorant Americans.
Very dumb.
We don't know how your political system operates,
A
and
lot of people graduate high school not knowing how to read.
yes, that's
Just
an unfortunate
keep
thing that
that in
does
mind
happen.
about America.
Right,
We
right,
graduate people from high school knowing full well they cannot read at a kindergarten level.
right. So at Fred Flintstone, sir, I listened and I looked and I will be learning more. So keep listening to us and, or help us learn. We're cool with that.
Okay.
But we are listening. When you tell us something, when you say something, we're listening.
But otherwise, I love going to Canada.
Oh
The
my
only thing
gosh,
that has
yes.
prevented me from going to Canada recently is A, my passport has lapsed,
Yeah,
and B, the Ambassador Bridge is Swiss cheese, and I am not falling into the goddamn Detroit River.
right. Right. It is rough. It is rough, and that's why they're building the other
The
bridge.
Gordie Howe, which I can't wait for.
So, maybe they'll fix up the Ambassador, but the Ambassador Bridge has been there for about 1,000,000 years and nobody has done anything to it.
Nobody.
And you get up on that bridge and it's bumper to bumper, what, about 4 or 5 lanes wide and
And
they're
and you're hundreds of feet off the ground. I
right.
know.
And
No.
you're sitting up there for a time because these people got to file through the terminals and but yeah, it is rough. But there's one day we'll get our passports renewed and
Yeah,
we'll go up and we'll go through the tunnel.
I need to get mine all redone because I have a different name on my passport. I have
Right.
a lifetime different name on that passport. So
We'll go through the tunnel. I've never been to Canada in the
through the tunnel,
tunnel.
yeah.
I've come home from
Oh,
Canada
many times.
through the tunnel. And that's equally as harrowing
It
when you want to think about it.
listen, why is there so much water on the walls?
Because it's underneath the Great Lakes.
Listen, who's to
And
say that the day that I'm driving that one little pebble that's holding the dam back,
it's gonna fall in.
is it going to fall out?
That could
Is
be.
a rock going to kick up from under my tire and knock that pebble loose and the dam is going to wash me away?
Oh Lord, yeah. I try not to think of stuff like that, or like when you're going over the ambassador up way up there. Try not to think about stuff like that. So yeah.
We were driving all over town yesterday and I said and just because I knew Justin was in the car with me, I said we're going to get to Central Avenue the back way because I know you don't want to go over the the overpass on Central Avenue where there's like
Oh,
58 lanes of
look,
traffic and they're halfway marked.
the divergent diamond.
It's wild up there.
God, I hate that. They're going to build more of those.
Oh,
Okay, go on.
so we snuck around back from like Bancroft to McCord and got to where we were going that way
Okay.
because I was just like, I don't feel like doing it today, and I know that you don't like it, so we're not doing this.
God, I hate it. I hate going over that. That is, whoever thought that that was a good idea, it's not.
Well, I think that it would have been a great idea if all of the lanes were like color coded and like fully marked.
Well, the one in Perrysburg is like it's got like curbs and stuff.
Yeah,
So you really can't go the wrong way, but not on Central Avenue. It's just a big old open thing and there may or may not be some stripes there.
right.
Good luck.
Right.
Oh Lord, I hate that divergent
And
diamond
you
thing.
know, I'm confident enough to go over that, but I don't need a nervous passenger to throw me off my game.
Right, right. I hear you.
So,
I hear you. Such things. Okay. What else is going on? Oh, we've decided on a topic for our Halloween pictures.
oh yeah, we're gonna do Universal Monsters this year.
Yeah, I think that's a fun idea.
I've got Dracula and Frankenstein somewhere.
We'll dig them out and we'll get you the itinerary. No, that's the travel. Got travel on my mind.
Yeah, I think that's a.
Is it still
I
can be
think it would still
considered an
be.
itinerary? Okay.
Yeah, well, we'll get something. We've
We'll
got a
get the
little bit of
list.
time.
Yeah.
We've
Yeah.
got some time. We'll figure it out.
I can't believe it's only February, but on the other hand, I can't believe it's the end of February.
Right. When
Wow.
January was 6 years long
Yeah.
and February is 2.5 days long,
Yeah.
it's wild.
I don't understand how that works.
I don't either.
So yeah, what do you know? Yeah, craziness. Okay, so yeah, we've got Halloween all mapped out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be fun. That'll be fun. Something different,
Yeah.
I think.
Something mainstream.
Yeah.
People know Dracula and Frankenstein, The Bride of Frankenstein.
Well, not me, but yeah, you're right. I mean, I haven't seen any of those movies.
Really?
No, I don't.
Never just in passing?
I do not think so. No, no, that's not my thing. Horror movies are not.
Mm,
No.
okay.
So yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun. We did not do a TikTok today.
We did not.
I don't juggle. Um,
No, and I thought it would be offensive if we put on like one t-shirt and pretended to have two heads.
oh,
I was just like that
that's not right.
that moves right into offensive. That's not funny or cute.
Right. Oh
And
Lord.
really, there's nothing funny to say about this
No,
movie.
there was nothing. No.
And, we could have done a serious TikTok, but who wants to see that?
Yeah, nobody.
We did have circus food for our meal.
Oh yes.
We
Yes.
had corn dogs and pretzel sticks and puff corns and candy and peanuts.
Yep.
It was delicious.
It was. I haven't had a junk meal dinner in a long time. It's been a long time.
We have had an executive producer most of the time. His name is Jellybean.
Oh.
He's sleeping by me,
Aw. He's that bored?
so he's not taking his job very seriously.
No.
But I did put his picture on Facebook.
Oh. He's helping
I
us.
did forget to put down that we were watching a movie this weekend until we were watching the movie. So, sorry about that, guys.
Yeah.
I can lie to you and tell you that we'll get better, but we won't.
No, no. I mean, my God, we've planned ahead for October. I mean, that's beyond belief to me.
Yeah.
And number one, And then number 2, that I remembered that we planned ahead.
Well, Halloween is something I get excited for. The 31 days of Halloween are something that I look forward to every year.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised at that at all.
Okay. Oh, I noticed you took your Christmas tree down.
Yeah, Justin did that when he did the kitchen.
I'll be darned. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a bunch of reorganization in there. Looks unbelievable.
It looks great, right?
I love organizing. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. So yeah, good for him.
Yeah, Justin got a new shift at work. He's much happier. His outlook on life has become a little bit better.
Nice.
Dealing with him every day has been a little bit better.
Nice.
So that's been cool. In my life, everything's calmed down a little bit.
Good. Nothing's going in my life. I mean, sorry. Except when the delivery people don't deliver stuff that's supposed to be delivered. Okay, done talking about it. Amazon is fine. It was because I had to go off of Amazon and not get Amazon that
Yeah.
everything exploded into
I
stupidness.
don't know what's going on, but Justin had noticed that there were like some big animal tracks in the yard the other day. And I was looking out there this morning, and there are human tracks. There are lots of human tracks going towards the back of my house. And why anybody needs to be in the back of my house, I don't know. And I kind of am interested in putting my shoes on and going out there and seeing what the fuck is going on. But why does there need to be a whole gaggle of footprints on that
Yeah.
side of my
Did
house?
you get your meter read?
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
I'd still put my shoes on and go look at that.
Yeah,
Because the back of your house is
it's hard
a
to
side
get to
it's a sidewalk.
from that side of the house
Yeah,
because the bushes are overgrown.
right.
So
What was somebody doing back there?
that's
Maybe they were going in your basement.
basement.
Sorry, I didn't need to bring that up again, did I? She does not have a basement,
I
but
had an insurance company
yeah,
that I switched insurances and they're like, "Oh, they called me and this woman very confidently said, "Oh, well, we based your rate on not having a basement, but you have a basement, so we have to change your rate." And I said, "I don't have a basement." "Well, the plans of your house say you have a basement." I said, "If there is square footage in my house that I'm not using, then somebody needs to come and do something to take care of me because I have lived in my house for so long. I know every inch of this house. There is not a square inch of this house that I'm not using for something.
right.
You're going to tell me I have a full ass basement that I'm not utilizing? Get the fuck out of here."
I think that is hilarious.
I told that woman, I said, "I want you to get off this phone and come to my house and show me where this basement is." And she said, "Well, the plans of your house clearly show that you have a basement." I said, "I want a refund.
Right.
I want a refund yesterday because you are very stupid and annoying."
And you got new insurance.
And I got new insurance right away. And I told them straight up, I said, whatever cockamamie plans you're gonna find that says I have a basement, I do not have a basement. And I will invite anybody into this house to show me that I have a basement.
Right.
I mean, I'm still angry about it. This happened like 2 or 3 years
I
ago.
know. Because I just brought it up the other day. I thought about it and I had to talk about it.
I'm still a live wire about it. I'm still what?
Well, it's ridiculous. These people are they're using satellites and shit like that to look down at our houses to tell us we need this or that in our house. And
The county plans say that I've looked at the county plans. It says I have what is that? A crawl space.
yeah, a crawl space. You
Like
know,
so how is that a basement?
right. r- Right. That is
'Cause
not
my
a
fat ass
basement.
isn't getting in that window. It's a
No.
window.
It is a small window. It's a tiny little window.
I'm not getting in there. Big Daddy's not getting in there. Nobody we know is getting in there.
No. No, it's not a basement. And you don't really have a backyard. You have a side yard and a front yard. You don't have a backyard. You have your walkway back there.
Yeah.
So there's not even what there's no need for anyone to be back there.
No, no. And, like, I feel like all the meters have been updated so you can just drive by and get meter readings.
Right.
So, what is somebody doing in the back of my house
Right. I
other than
I'd,
casing my
I'd
house?
still get my shoes on and go check that out
Yeah.
because we don't need that kind of
I don't need that kind of
messing
excitement.
around. Yeah. Right. Maybe they did take up residence down there through that little tiny window.
Oof. Well, you know what? If you can fit down there, go for it.
I guess.
You hang out with the worms.
Yeah, I guess. So, yeah, craziness.
Just turn your hot plate off so it doesn't burn my house down.
Why are they turning on their hot plate? Is there plugs down there too?
Hell, I don't know.
Is it is it a finished basement?
But just the boldness with which that woman was very confidently wrong. And I was just like, you dumb bitch.
Unbelievable.
You are only aggravating me.
Yeah,
And the only reason I haven't called you a stupid bitch to your face is because I'm polite.
right. Right. I'm an adult and I'm containing myself right now.
I do want to drive to your house and act a fool, though.
Yes, I get it. I get it.
But yeah, so no, I don't have a basement. I've never
No,
had a basement.
no, and never gonna.
And if I did have a basement, I'm a fucking chimp because I've never used it.
Yes.
And I've got so much shit that needs to be put somewhere that a basement would be great for.
Yeah. Yeah, we could put stuff in tubs and take it down to the basement.
Yeah.
Gee, I wish I had a basement. No, I don't. Then I would keep more stuff.
Yeah. That's that's the problem we have now is we have too much stuff to keep
Yeah,
anyways.
yep. I keep thinking that I need to go through my stuff because, one day I'll be dead and I don't want to put you through that house sorting through shit that where'd this come from?
Why have you held on to this for
Yeah.
65 years?
Yes. Yes.
Like we did with grandma's house.
Oh Lord, that was beyond difficult. That was beyond difficult. Yeah, but I had to throw away stuff that I never thought I would throw books. Oh, it was heartbreaking to throw those encyclopedias away.
Oh, I was going to say books. Well, you should have donated those, but an encyclopedia, you can't do
I
anything with
couldn't. I
those
called the
anymore.
library and I told them that I have 3 sets of Oh, no, honey, we don't take encyclopedias anymore. What?
They're out of date. They're
Yes.
so far out of date.
Yes. They don't even take them to donate. I literally threw them away.
Oh,
It was heartbreaking to me.
yeah.
I
How much money did you spend on those encyclopedias? $1 billion?
well, probably when my mom and dad got them, they were. Yes.
You
Yes.
know, you buy one volume at $25 a piece
Yes.
in 1952.
Right. Right. So, yeah, it was heartbreaking, and there were other things I threw away too that just, nobody's gonna want this, nobody's gonna take this, and there was a lot of stuff nobody wanted. We don't take that here.
So
Okay.
Justin has a decent comic book collection, and our movie collection is really fucking respectable.
Yeah.
And what are we gonna do with just, boxes of movies and comic books? We don't know people. We don't know, kids that would be interested in taking our shit.
Well, maybe when it comes time to retire, Justin can cash his comic books in for retirement money. I don't I mean, does he wanna do that? Probably not.
Probably not. No.
But on the other hand, what's he gonna do with them?
Justin's comic books are for me to sell after he dies
Oh,
to pay for that.
I get it. I get it. But on the other hand, why?
Yeah.
I sold all my Barbie dolls. Why do I need to keep these? I don't. So, yeah, I get it. I get it, but I don't get it. It's hard. It's hard to downsize. It's hard to break up your collections. Not we're not. It's not like we're hoarders. I mean,
Well, it feels like I am.
sometimes it does me too. Because I have that little house and I have all that stuff, and
It's just like what can I do to make this collection better without disturbing anything else in the house, without making a giant mess? I can't.
no, I know, baby, I know. I know. I look around my house. I think it's time to start doing this because I don't want to put you girls through that. That's just too much work.
Oh,
Just every few years, I do go through the totes in my garage and empty out one or two.
you don't need to do that. Your garage isn't that big.
Yes, but I still have a lot of totes out there that I try to. I try. You don't want to do that. Just go in and throw everything in the trash, except the good stuff that you know where the good stuff is.
Yeah.
Not that I have that much good stuff, but it's stuff that's good to me.
Yeah.
Like my beautiful dresser that was my great grand or my grandma's, their great grandma's. Yeah, stuff like that. I hope you take that white chair too. I really love that white chair.
Oh yeah, that white chair stand.
Yeah.
I'll find something to do with that.
I actually I have two white chairs that I would like you to take. The round one.
I'm talking about the round one.
Oh, okay. All right. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
Scam that off of somebody I know. They didn't want it. I said, "Are you kidding? I'll take it."
Yeah.
I love that white chair.
It's awesome.
It's beautiful. Yeah, I got stuff like that. I wish I had something that was made of money, then I'd get money.
Right. I wish my movie collection was worth something.
Yeah.
It's not. It's just it's worth something to me. We just went shopping yesterday. That was what we did when we went out. And I bought a really cool, and even the kid at the counter at the store was like, "This is a really cool box." And I'm like, "Yeah, it is." For RoboCop unrated.
What?
And I said RoboCop is a really violent movie. And like I remember watching it when I was little because dad didn't give a fuck what we watched. He would turn something on for him and we would sit there and just watch it with him and just holy shit. Uh um and I bet if you knew that at the time you would have had a puppy. Um but I remember seeing Predator really young. I remember seeing RoboCop really young. But I hadn't watched it um like as an adult. Like so we watched it this is years ago and I had the craziest most violent shoot 'em up dream that I think I've ever had.
My goodness.
And and Justin has made fun of me for years about RoboCop giving me bad dreams.
My
So
goodness.
finding an uncut version of RoboCop, which I'm sure is even more violent.
Right?
Yeah, I said, "What kind of nightmares are these gonna give me?" And he just laughed.
It was in a cool box, and
The
that
box is real
you
cool.
know me, that's how I pick all my movies. I like this box. Let's watch this movie. What is it? I don't know. Oh well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we don't have a next movie.
No, not yet. We'll get there.
Yeah.
We always do. We always have something interesting for you.
When I was upstairs this morning spraying, because I think there's still fleas upstairs. I don't.
Oh
The boys
Lord.
don't seem to be bothered because they don't go upstairs very much. But Lula is just all torn up, and I'm sick about this. So I think there must be fleas upstairs still.
Yeah.
So I went up while she was eating breakfast, and I just sprayed the shit out of the places I know she goes
Right.
upstairs. And on the floor next to one of the places where she sits is a movie called The Cell, and it's got Jennifer Lopez in it. It's really kind of scary.
Okay.
Um, but it's like she's fighting. She has to go into somebody's mind to fight with them, and just like the dream sequence stuff is really very lush and very cool looking.
Oh,
Um, but it's like a serial killer, and like he's got like this boy trapped in a it's all psychic stuff, and this boy is trapped in a coma because the serial killer has this boy in his mind, and it's a whole thing.
oh
It's
wow.
very it's very kind of cool.
Okay.
So I found that if you want to watch that, it is a little schlocky, it is a little campy, but it is very when they get into the killer's mind, it is very interesting. It's beautifully shot. The 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 way that the stuff moves, everything is moving well, and the colors are very lush. It's very cool.
All right.
So if you want to watch that, we can, or I'll find something that's a little more low impact.
Right now, I'm not interested in any thinking. I'm ready for a nap now.
Okay. All right, I'll find something low impact then.
Okay. We'll see.
Yeah.
Get there. We'll get
Yeah.
there. We always do.
The other movies that we bought were like a bunch of the Spider-Man movies. Justin was very excited to buy some of the Spider-Man movies.
Nice. Okay.
So,
All right. You have to have his dad go up there and build shelving up there.
ugh.
Build it onto one of those walls with doors and stuff.
That was when you asked us to take grandma's house, um th- that would have been the only reason I would have wanted to because the den off the living room
Uh-huh.
had built-in shelving,
Yes.
and we could have put all of our movies in there,
Yeah, you could have.
and it would have looked cool. But that was just too that much house would have encouraged us to
Oh
be
my gosh, yeah.
awful.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Yeah. That would have been great for you. I would have loved that for you, but on the other hand, that's, twice this house. You could have gotten twice more shit in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get it. I get it.
That's okay, sister's
I
up there.
I understand why you didn't want it to go there. I get it.
Yeah. Plus the property tax. I mean, mine is high enough.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe that's one of those $1,000,000 houses now. There was the snafu with the real estate
Uh,
thing.
a lady at work was like, when they were on the news and they were showing just a random neighborhood, she's like, "That's my neighborhood." She's just like, "So I'm waiting. I'm just waiting."
Oh no. I I can't believe after all of these years how there could be a snafu in the system. I don't I don't buy that. But not my business.
Yeah.
My house went up, but not in the millions like those houses.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm okay. I'm not going to question it.
No.
And beside that, what's there to question?
I mean,
Question a computer?
I'm already paying so much in property taxes though.
Yeah.
Like
Well, it's expensive to live here.
it's expensive to live anywhere, I guess.
Yes. Yes. Yes, it is. Oh well. Thank God we're rich, though.
Yeah.
Thank God you got all these little kitties out making money.
Yeah.
Otherwise you'd be scraping it together. I
Oof.
get it.
Yeah. Sorry. Well, I guess we said enough about freaks. And I
Yeah.
guess we've said enough about our house and all our random shit and my non-basement.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. We always have a good time.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. And I promise I'll try to be better about letting everybody know what's on Facebook. I'm not going to say it will get better, but I'm going to try.
Okay. I'm all right with that. We can always get better.
I mean, we can try.
Yeah. All right, my love.
All right. Well, we'll see you in another couple weeks. Have a great time.
Bye bye.
Bye.